You sign it. No, you can give it on the screen, right in the camera. Okay. Right. So Marvis, thank you for staying. I know that you've had a very long day today with DocSam, and thank you all for coming. What you're going to see here today is a series of 6 short films. They range from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And they are related to my research on the gentrification of a slum, a favela in Rio, which is not happening anymore because everything has changed now in Brazil. But by the time I was making these films that I was filming, I was doing field work in Vidigal, which is the name of the favela, about a process of gentrification, actually about people questioning whether Vidigal was gentrifying or not. The city was changing. The city had gone through a lot of urban renewal in anticipation to the mega events that were happening in Brazil and in Rio in specific, the 2014 World Cup that happened all over the country, and the 2016 Olympics that was located in Rio specifically. So there was a lot of money put into the city, a lot of businesses came in partnership with the government to do all sorts of urban renovations and renewals. And one of the part of this, renovation of the city or preparation of the city for the World Cup was a securitization policy called pacification, which basically meant that the police would enter a few favelas in Rio and drive the drug dealers away in an attempt to control open events of violence, and also in an attempt to make the city a little bit safer. So I think that many of you have already heard me talking about my research, so I don't want to talk too much about it. If you have questions about pacification, if you have questions about gentrification of favelas at that time in Rio, I can talk about it later. But because this is a seminar on visual anthropology and ethnographic filmmaking, I'm going to concentrate a little bit more on that. Why 6 short films? Because I went to the field with a very small little camera, with a Panasonic Lumix, without extra sound, just to explore with this little camera what I would be able to do in Vidigal. When I arrived there, I didn't know anyone. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do research or to stay there. So I didn't want to risk taking a big camera, and also it wouldn't make any sense to walk around the favela with a big camera by myself. I ended up with very interesting footage, but it was footage that was not recorded with a film, with a long film in mind. And it is footage that works really well with my research. From the footage I write, and from my writing I edit. So it's a very intimate relationship between my research and the filmmaking that I did. So that's why I decided to make short films that would then speak about specific events and would raise questions and about very specific issues that were going on in the favela at the time. It's not only about gentrification, it's about other things, but gentrification is a major theme. I have 2 collaborators. One, the main collaborator is called Ninho. He is this guy here. I don't know your password. There you go. That's Ninho, who walked around Vidigal with me, because I also couldn't really film by myself. I filmed by myself a few times towards the end, when people already knew me, when they could, when they realized that I wasn't there to buy property or to spy or to make a television film or anything. So he walked around with me a lot. He was also very interested in doing research with me and understanding and questioning and inquiring what was going on. People in Vidigal themselves wanted to know what was going on. They were unsure. They didn't know where this so-called gentrification was taking the favelas. So but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make you watch the whole of the 6 films. Altogether, they come up to 50 minutes, so it's almost like a feature, but not quite. They start, end, and they start and end. I realized after making this, it's harder to make shorter films because you have to think about the beginning, the middle, and the end for all of them. And they took quite a long time, but they come together very nicely. I have a certain order. They will eventually go into a website when this website, materializes itself, and they will be featured in the website in a way that you don't really, you're not guided into an order of watching the films. You can start from any of them, but right now I'm going to give you a forced linearity, by showing you one after the other in a logic that I believe is there. But I think that they can be watched, in different orders. So should I turn off the lights? Okay. And then we can discuss a bit more about whatever you want to.